Set to go. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome everybody to our special council session of Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Welcome staff and the council, obviously, and those who are watching online and the visitors that are here today in the gallery. Thank you for being here, folks. I'll call the meeting to order. We acknowledge our Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. 2.1 is approval of the agenda. Everyone have a copy of the agenda. I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Gilroy, seconded by Councilor Porter. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded nay. The motion is carried. That brings us down to number 3, organizational policy bylaw items. 3.1, second reading of Higgins Mountain Wind Energy Project Development Agreement. Elemental Energy. Mr. Boone, Director of Development Planning, is going to lead us through this. Mr. Boone.
Thank you, Worship. Good afternoon, members of council, the public, as well as staff. The application originally submitted by Elemental Energy was received by the municipality in June of 2023. But as I mentioned, Your Worship, both at the first reading and at the public hearing, we've been in negotiations and conversations with Elemental since I started back in March. Been very detailed in how the development agreement was formed, making sure that we adhere to policy and the requirements under the land use bylaw. I think what is important just to re-mention to council today is that during our planning review process that the requirements for wind farms were enhanced substantially. There was a lot of input, my understanding before my time, but there was a lot of input, good input from the community to ensure that we had certain elements in our policy, in our land use bylaw that would ensure that a more detailed process was in place. And that's what the development agreement does, Your Worship. It puts that contract in place that gets registered on title with the lands. The process for development agreement is a lot of back and forth with negotiations with a proponent. We ensure policy, we ensure land use bylaw is respected. It was also a process, Your Worship. So just wanted to reinforce what was mentioned at the public hearing, which was mentioned at council in first reading and is in your report, is that the ads as required by the Municipal Government Act were filed in the local paper. We do post our information on our Plan Cumberland website with every application. Even after first reading, the information is posted on the website for the public to see, even in advance of public hearings or even second reading. The ads, as I mentioned, were placed. The decision to have a special meeting was to give opportunity to ensure that the issue was well vetted, not rushed through a normal council session. Not saying, Your Worship, we rushed through our issues at council, but just to ensure that there was time for discussion or any questions around the proposal. As you're aware, we did receive a letter from the Protect Wentworth Committee that was received last week, and we, as a motion of council, or sorry, it was read into record for council, but as a motion of council in that conversation a week ago was to ask the proponent for responses to that letter, which is part of the package that was shared with council in late last week in advance of today's meeting. And also as part of your package, there was a memo for myself that addressed any of the questions they had in respect to the planning matters. Because just to reinforce, Your Worship, we deal with the matters under policy through our municipal planning strategy and the zoning bylaw, land use bylaw, and anything to do with the development agreement. There's certain components of the questions that were asked that we asked Elemental to answer. So, Your Worship, I'd probably saying a little bit more than I normally do at a second reading, but I think it was just important to clarify those points and to make sure that that the information that was received last week was duly read into record, and we did receive a response from the proponents. So other than if there's specific questions, Your Worship, on the development agreement or the file, I'd be prepared to answer any questions from council. Is the normal process with second reading. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So the recommended motion is that council approve second reading of the Higgins Mountain Energy Wind Project Development Agreement for PIDs 252-67428 and 252-67410 and 253-60041 and 250-88725 and finally 250-88723. Someone like to make that motion, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Gilroy, seconded by Councilor O'Telling. Any questions or comments for Mr. Boone in regards to this agenda item? Seeing none, I'll call Councilor Redmond.
answers to the.
Microphone,
Oh, sorry.
Joe, good, thank you.
The answers to the the letter, were those made accessible to the group? The answers from the last week's letter, have they seen those?
I guess your worship, back to the counselor, until council had that in their package and was part of today's discussion.
Okay.
I hadn't provided them directly because I didn't think it was, I was able to do that at the time.
No, that's fine, just
Yeah.
wanted to know where that stood.
Yeah. But they would have been posted as part of the package. Sorry, and I did mention that to the group in a conversation before the session, that they were posted as part of the council package. Sorry,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. Okay, Councilor Redmond,
Yes, that's fine.
any further questions or comments in regards to this agenda item? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our agenda, folks. I'd ask for motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Gilroy. We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.